we don't have filth. We are also to ensure us to make sure that we don't allow animals to stray. We are also there to ensure that we enforce standards in respect of sanitation. We also issue of food hygiene and safety. And then we also ensure that we look at issues of meat hygiene and likes. So basically, that's what we are mandated.
When you go around Kumasi, when it comes to sanitary conditions, how would you describe what you see?
Well, for me, I wouldn't say we are at the level that we are supposed to be. Let me say that we have a lot of filth in the system. And as I have always indicated, sanitation is a shared responsibility. The authorities of the assembly have their role to play, whereas the community also have their role to play. So for me, I wouldn't say that it's the best of states that we find ourselves in. You visit some of the places, drains are choked, to the extent that even people wait when it is raining and then they will just dump their refuse into the drains. And so there's a problem that we all as a people need to work at.
Would you say it's a problem that you would say you're prepared to face? It's a problem that you're prepared to fix? Because you mentioned a while ago that you took office barely 3 months ago, but at least you have stated that you know the situation. So based on what you have seen, you think you have what it takes to solve the problem, to work at it?
Yes, but I indicated that it's a shared responsibility. I will be doing my part, but then I also need the general public to also support in what we bring on board to deal with the issues.
What do you mean by that?
For instance, you indicated that last Friday or Thursday, Mr. Kotuka was around.
He was here on Thursday, yeah.
The CBD. Until I came to Kumasi, I used to say that Kumasi is very filthy. I remember one time I went to Accra, I stopped, and I realized that they were cleaning at night. So I said, oh, then they do very well in this direction. But then, the next morning, I happened to come to Kumasi, and it was as if nothing has been done. So the issue has to be with the attitude. So if whatever I put in place, people's attitude does not change, then we'll still remain at what the level that we are. And so that's why I indicated that, yes, I'm prepared to make sure that we cause a change in the system, but I also have to look at how people also...
You mentioned rightly so that it's a shared responsibility, and I agree. Now, if it's shared responsibility, you also would agree with me in that humans as we are, sometimes we want to do things and have our own way. We want to have some kind of freedom, some laxity in doing some things. But the only thing that helps us to conform, the only thing that helps us to do the right things are when the laws are enforced. So, for example, when I asked Mr. Kotoka why we were not, enforcing some of the bylaws, he says, well, it is a responsibility of the environmental health. And that's where your name came up, and that is why we do.
Yeah.
Do you think you have what it takes to enforce the law, bylaws? Because again, the bylaw says that wherever you are seated for trade, your immediate environs is your business. It is for you to ensure that the place is clean and neat. Even in our homes, where you live, it is your responsibility that weeds are not overgrown, the filth is not there and all that. Are you saying to us here and now that you are prepared to enforce the bylaws?
Rightly so, Dave. Let me gist into what is happening currently. As I speak with you right now, I think last 2 weeks or so, we arrested about 16 people with bench warrants who have flouted various sanitation rules. In fact, they were summoned to court and they did appear in court.
They did not?
They did not.
These 16 people, tell us about them. I mean, was it people who were trading, people who are living in their homes? What was their offense?
Yes, there were some that had homes in the CBD that they have allowed effluent to flow into the public drains. Some indicated had a weedy environment. Some have dumped indiscriminately. And so it's of various levels of sanitation offenses. And so they are currently, I think they have been dealt with. We have another 17 which I intend to.
When you say dealt with, sorry, you talk about the 17, but when you say dealt with, what do you mean by dealt with? Because you were saying that when they were even summoned to court, they didn't even appear.
So that's why I indicated that we applied for a bench warrant, and with the support of the police, we went to their homes and arrested them, and brought them back to the court for them to be, as it were, dealt with.
Dealt with?
Exactly.
What happened?
They were fined various sums of monies. Some were 600, some were 900, depending on the way the court sees the matter before it. So, in terms of enforcement, and I intend to scale it up to a level that it will cause some of these attitudinal issues to be dealt with. Because, like you indicated, when we leave human beings just like that, they will do whatever they like. And so sometimes we need to crack the whip for people to do the right thing. And so I'm prepared to do that.
In as much as you say you're prepared to do this, Mr. Poku, we live in a region where when somebody does wrong and action ought to be taken, two key things comes up. So the political figures themselves are reluctant to act. That's number one. The second concern is that then you have people who say they are chiefs or big men in the society who come and beg on the behalf of the people who done wrong. I know you are aware of this.
Certainly so.
How do you intend to navigate yourself around the fact that and let's say the KMA boss, if one comes up, will say, fine, say or a chief comes, how do you intend to work on that?
It's really a challenge when it comes to enforcement. It has been there with us, like you indicated. Sometimes you want to do the right thing, and then you have these interferences, making the work very difficult. What I intend doing, we deal with recalcitrant ones. There are some who persistently you have warned to desist from those acts. And for that matter, when it comes to prosecuting those people, you have no option than to take them on. And so what I intend doing is to, one, do a lot of engagement and sensitization on some of these issues. Let people understand that the laws are there, and if you flout them, you will be dealt with. And also, I'm just hoping that we'll have our when it comes. My plan is to indicate to him some of these things that I want to do for him to give me support, because we all need to make sure that we keep the city clean. And if we have people who have decided that they will not do the right thing, then we'd have to let the law take its course.
And you think you have what it takes to ensure that the law would take its course?
With the support of all stakeholders.
Have you engaged with your